This episode of the Bad Crypto Podcast is brought to you by eToro. The best way to be smart about trading crypto is to use the smartest trading platform. And you can get $25 in free Bitcoin from Bad Crypto when you go to badco.in/eToro and follow the easy instructions. That's badco.in/eToro. Christopher Walken is a legend of the acting world, but he's not here today. So instead, we've got a legend of the crypto mining world with a similar name. Crypto Christopher Walken, as he goes by, has been mining Bitcoin since, get this, 2010. That's like almost the beginning. And today, he joins us to discuss his crypto journey. And who knows, the other Christopher Walken may make an appearance as well. You just never know. After all, we're bad and in need of more cowbell. So welcome to episode number 290 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
And welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast, the show for the crypto curious, crypto serious, and crypto cowbellists. I'm Joel Comm, and that is Tuesdays.
And I'm Travis Walken. It's great to be here, Joel. I'm a big fan of crypto.
You do crack me up, Mr. Travis, Wright.
Thank you.
You do make me to laugh and to
We
go
also laughing
and snort.
peoples. We clacking the jokes
Yes.
for the peoples.
We are the blockchain blockheads, the crypto clowns, duck going all the things, so you don't have to. Heard around the world, and right now in your ears.
I sometimes Bing things.
Which is,
if
that's the only
okay.
place.
Can I Bing things?
You can Bing if you want to. Just avoid that Google stuff. I'm still in the process of
It's hard to
de-Googlify.
de-Googlify whenever the apps and services we use sometimes require Google Chrome.
Mm-hmm. For now.
Sure.
For now. So how about a shout out to our sponsor for the show, nasgo.com. You know what? I downloaded their new wallet, Travis, and I think you did as well. It's pretty baller.
It's Amico? What is it? Amico.
Yeah, it's Amico, Amico, AMICO Pro, and you can get links to that from the nasgo.com website. It's not in the App Store because Apple, sucks when it comes to allowing crypto stuff. It doesn't mean you can't install it on your device.
Very true.
And your wallet is your phone number, and so you sign up with your phone number. And I showed you how easy it was to send NSG because, I sent it to you in a chat.
Yeah, it's really handy. It's like that app right there could be a killer app. I think the name is hard for people to remember. But it sounds like Amigo, like a friend, like Amigo would be a cool name. But it's so handy to you're literally able to send me 100 NSG, just like boop, and then once I accepted it, boom, it was transferred, and then that's like my own wallet, and I can use that to as my main wallet if I wanted, which is pretty handy.
By the way, you never said thank you for that 100.
Thank you. You know what? I was having trouble trying to download and do things, and then I got it done, and then I was like, whoa, cool.
Well, we're glad to have them as a sponsor, and there's a lot of different things that we can tell you about them. But right now, we're going to tell you go to nasgo.com and check out the Amico app at amico.app, and you can download that right now. And there you go. Make it happen. Well, Mr. Travis Wright, we're at a place with the markets right now where Bitcoin is been under 10,000. It's been hovering around 9,500. And my gut tells me that in the next week, we're going to see a move one way or the other, that it's going to stop the sideways.
I was chatting with one of my friends, and he was all like, because he does a lot of trading and shorting and buying, and he was all like, all right. He's like, his Bitcoin was at $9,991 or something. He was like, okay, if it pops over 10,000, it's going to pop and it's going to go for a run. And I was looking at the charts, and I was like, but look at pull out about 3 months or whatever, and you can see it looks like it's going down. Like I think it's going to maybe go down to like 9,000, 8,800 is what it looked like to me. And then it did plummet down to like 9,400 or something. So it's sitting at 9,600 right now, looks like. So who knows what it's going to do, but it could be one of those things where it goes down. But you got the Litecoin happening and just how long? Not long at all for the Litecoin happening to happen. And that's sitting at $91, and it was as much as $120 not even a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. There's some interesting plays out there if you are a trader, or no trades at all if you're a hodler.
Yep. Got to know if you're going to hodl or fodl, but crypto goes up, crypto goes down. The only thing that you can count on is that we are here to provide you with the best in crypto infotainment that is possible. And today is no exception. We've got a great interview for you with Mr. Crypto Christopher Walken. So let's get after that. We've been talking a lot more about mining ever since Badcoin came around, and we've learned a lot about mining. So have a lot of you. And now there's more questions about mining than ever before. And so we surveyed the landscape and we said, landscape, who's out there that knows something about mining? Well, the name Christopher Walken rose to the surface, not because of the actor, but because of crypto.
No, totally because of the actor. What are you talking about? What actually the truth of the matter is, bad crypto needed more cowbell.
Well, that is not crypto Christopher Walken. That is actual Christopher Walken, who has joined us here. But we have with us the co-founder of, what is this? Hashrate? Hashrate, is that Hashrate? He's the community manager for Get Honey Miner, and crypto Christopher Walken is in the hizzle to talk all about the minings. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on, guys. That was a great impersonation, by the way. I wish I could do that. Let's probably work on it.
Thank you. It's taken me many years to do this while I put my pants on.
That's fantastic.
Y'all make
Travis,
podcasts the same. I just happen to make great podcasts when my pants are on. I gotta ask you, Christopher, when did you get into crypto mining?
Oh, man. How am I going to talk with this guy? All right. So
I don't know, man. Go for it.
All right. So I first heard about Bitcoin back in 2010. A buddy of mine that I knew on the boat, because I am active duty Navy, for those that don't know. But
thank you for your service. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So I was over at his house. We were watching UFC, and he was like, "Hey, you're a computer guy. Come in my garage real quick." And at first I was like, "What the hell?" But I go in there, he turns the light on, and he just has all these like compact HP, just these crap computers on shelves. I'm like, what the hell's all this? He's like, I'm mining Bitcoin. I'm like, what the hell's Bitcoin? So he explained to me kind of TLDR what Bitcoin was. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I went home the next day. I tried doing it myself. It took me probably 3 days to figure out how to just CPU mine it, because unlike today, there wasn't any information out back then. So I finally got it working. I let it go overnight. I woke up the next morning and it was like 0.5 Bitcoin. And I'm like, this is stupid. This isn't even worth anything. So I didn't do it anymore. Fast forward to 2011. My same friend, he sent me an email and was like, hey man, so you can mine Bitcoin with GPUs now. And at this point, I think it was maybe like $10. I can't remember what the price of Bitcoin was in 2011, but I decided to fire it up again. So I was GPU mining it, and I think at the time I was on like two 4850s, pretty old AMD cards, and it was pulling in like 2.5 a day just on those two cards. So from there, I kind of expanded. I went into some other things. So what's funny is I kind of tell people that, people that got into Bitcoin really early, it was either because of video games or drugs. And for me, it was video games. I found out there was this website that you could basically go and buy like video game armor and stuff like that. I can't exactly remember what the website was called, but it's now known as Kraken, because the guy that's the co-founder of Kraken ran that website, and you can buy like Diablo 3, Diablo 2 armor, World of Warcraft, all that stuff. So I spent a lot of Bitcoin on just really stupid crap back then. So yeah.
You're like, man, that piece of armor cost me $14,000.
Yeah, pretty much. I try to not think about the past and what I could have had. But so around 2013, I started building some more rigs. And then I decided to start trying my hand actually trading it. So I got a Mt. Gox account, and I threw the Bitcoin I had on there, and I started trying to trade. And of course, like every new trader, completely screwed it up. I was freaking FOMO buying, freaking selling the bottom, buying the top, just losing Bitcoin crazy fast. Like, what the hell am I doing? So I stopped trading it. And then the little bit that I have left, I lost when Gox got hit in 2014. So at that point, I was basically like, screw this, it's a scam. And I got out for a few years. So fast forward to 2016, same friend again, which, by the way, we're still friends now, but mostly for this. But he he told me about Ethereum. So he was mining Ethereum at the time. I think this was like January 16. It was like $6. And he's like, hey, man, I know you got hit pretty hard. I know you don't want to hear anything about crypto, but there's this new thing. So he told me about Ethereum. I was like, whatever. So when I wasn't playing video games, I started mining Ethereum. And then from there, the price started going up. And I'm like, oh, holy crap. So I built like my first like 6-card rig, and that was going well. So then fast forward to about 2017, it was probably June timeframe. I think that was when like the first alt pumps are going off. So Ethereum went up to like $400. I'm like, that's it. And I freaking sold all of it. So the good thing is, at least I paid off like most of my debt. I built a bunch of mining rigs, stuff like that. But from there, we all saw the run. So luckily I sold all my rigs. I was still mining Ethereum. Got pretty good. So up until this point, I had like no real social media at all. I was hanging out in the Bitcoin Talk announcements, mostly Reddit, a couple of YouTubers that I followed, stuff like that. End of 2017, I started following some of the like new YouTubers that were out. And there was one, I won't really mention his name, but he was a miner guy. He's still out there. But he was kind of giving some bad info because at this point, you know, GPUs were probably 2 to 3 times the price of what they were before because everybody's FOMOing in buying them. And he's basically telling everybody to get into mining. And this was, you know, me, because I didn't have an actual, you know, persona back then. I put in his YouTube comments, I'm like, dude, this is terrible advice. Like, you know, GPUs are this high up, blah, blah, blah. And he basically snapped back at me like, well, if you're so good at it, do it yourself. So it kind of clicked with me. So I'd never had a Twitter account, anything like that before. I didn't feel like anybody would give a crap about anything I had to say. So I made just a normal Twitter account in January of 18, which was real me. So no one really knows that, but wasn't getting any traction. So I kind of started following some of the podcast stuff like that and noticed that people had personas on Twitter. So my very first persona was Crypto Kenny Powers. I thought that would be funny. Some people caught on with it. From there, I kind of branched out to other things. I found Telegram. I found a Telegram group called The Aquarium. That's actually where I met up with a bunch of other Twitter people like Coin Yeezy, Crypto Randy Marsh, all those guys. So just talking in there and meeting up with people, I kind of realized that there really was a need for mining. There was a lot of bad information out there, stuff like that. So at first, they put me in charge of their mining group, and I met some people through there. And the people in there were basically like, you know what, you need to start your own mining group. So I started my own Telegram channel at the time. Around the same time was the, I don't know if you guys remember, but like May of 2018, every single person on Twitter was getting banned. Like everything that was crypto related was getting banned. So my original Twitter account got cannexed. So at this point, I had no Twitter. So I was only on Telegram. And at the time, I was still Crypto Kenny Powers. So I finally decided to make a new Twitter account. I was like, you know what? I need a new persona. So I decided to pick something that actually had my real name in it. So that's where Crypto Christopher Walken came along, because I thought it'd be funny. I thought, you know, between more Cowbell and all the GIFs and memes and everything that guy has, it would be good. So it caught on. From there, the Telegram just started growing. I started writing articles on, you know, mining rig builds, stuff like that. People really caught on. So at that point, I really felt like I was onto something. So from there, the Telegram kept growing. I kept bringing new miners in. I joined up with Honey Miner. Was their community manager to help them, because, I mean, Honey Miner is like the most basic new people that barely know anything. So I helped them, grew my following from there. By the end of the year, we all know the market was completely rough. I know we're going to talk about bear market mining later on, but by this point, most miners had capitulated. Everybody sold most of their mining equipment. It was bad times. But at the same time, there was a bunch of new coin launches coming. My Telegram had blown up to almost 1,700 people. It was completely unmanageable. So I decided to open up a Discord. So I launched the Discord in January of this year. And as of right now, it's at almost 2,000 people. A lot of the people, my admins, I've known for well over a year now. They're like my main go-to guys. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Of course, I also have hash rate, which we'll touch on too. But yeah, that's my start where I'm at.
You know what? That's a fascinating story. And, the fact that you are enlisted in the Navy right now, right? I mean, I think like, you're not just doing crypto stuff, which you've done, you've been doing this for a while and it's been pretty successful for you, right? You've been playing with this for a while. How long have you been in the Navy? And let me ask you this, how do you deal when you got to move, right? Because Army and Navy people, you move a lot, right? And so you got to pack up all your rigs and stuff. How's that go?
Yeah, so I've actually been in for 13 years now. Rig wise, so my friend that I'm good friends with, he's super OPSEC. I don't even have any pictures of our damn farm. He's like Jameson Lop plus 100. Like he's government's gonna find me, that type of dude. But so we have a farm up north, and that's where most of my rigs are. My house itself, I've only got like 20 cards. So
Gotcha.
the rest of my farm's all up north. But yeah, I actually helped them set it up when I was stationed up north. But yeah, moving's tough, and I've been pretty lucky because I'm on shore duty right now, so I'm not attached to a command. But it's gonna get interesting when I go back to a boat and have to go back underway, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm planning it out.
So let's kind of do a little mining 101 here, and why people should care about mining, and it's not just about making money, right? How does this thing actually work? Because it wasn't until I understood the basics of mining that the Bitcoin light bulb went over my head.
Yeah, so what people don't realize is that mining is crypto. I mean, if it wasn't for mining, there would be no Bitcoin. And that's why when everybody was talking about the mining death spiral and all that BS last year, I'm like, well, if mining dies, then Bitcoin dies, because mining is the entire security of the Bitcoin network. I mean, people don't realize that the added hash rate, it actually adds to the security. And then basically the more hash rate you have, it adjusts, the difficulty goes up, so it makes it more difficult. So that adds to your security. I mean, I know people know about block rewards, but all right, so yeah, you have your block reward, which basically is all the transactions in one portion on the chain are put into a block. And then however many ASICs, whatever, they're on the pool, they find that block, they have to solve it. And that's what your hash rate is, right? It's just hashing away, trying to solve that mathematical equation. And then once that block is solved, it gets the block reward, that Bitcoin's sent out. And then from there, that transactions, or all the transactions that were in the block, end up getting sent to whatever wallet address it was.
That's great. Yeah, you know what? We've had a lot of conversations now about hash rate and what it all means. We've created our own coin. Did you go down the badcoin.net rabbit hole at all?
I actually did check it out after your super sweet video that you did on Twitter. I went onto the website and I saw that you guys went proof of work. So I actually am going to dig into it a little bit more, because I did hear a little bit about it. The fact that if you have basically the crappier your computer, the better.
Yeah, that's sort of the goal, right? So you mentioned it yourself a moment ago. It's like mining is crypto. Like there wouldn't be Bitcoin without mining. And what's happened with these large mining pools out there today is that it's very hard for the regular Joe to even get started on this. It's an arms war, right? It's a race to who can have the most hash rate, right? Because you're getting a bigger percentage of the pool and et cetera, et cetera. And so, I mean, back in 2010, I mined a block of Bitcoin on my laptop. I got 50 Bitcoin, and I went to a mining faucet and got another 5 Bitcoin. And then I ended up losing my laptop, or the laptop crashed down, and then I ended up not getting those files off, and then they weren't worth anything at the time. But you know the pain. But
that may be the most frequently told story on the show, by the way.
Yeah, it's like if I don't tell it, Joe makes me tell it. So I just have to tell it sometimes.
Just get it out of the way, because I'm going to be like, hey, Travis, how about that 55 Bitcoin you lost?
That's exactly what I would say. And then I mine 55 Bitcoin and then not tell the tragic part at the end. And Mr. Joe Comm's always like, oh, no, tell him what happened to your Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll just tell the whole story the first time. That's why we tell it so often. But it was fun to mine on my laptop, even though it ended up kind of my laptop, my family. But I was like, man, now regular people can't just mine Bitcoin. So what if we could have what if we could have an algorithm or multiple algorithms that, depending on the device you're connecting with and the hash rate and hash power you connect with, that determines which algorithm you connect to, and that determines the difficulty. The hash rate determines the difficulty of each one of those algorithms, right? And so there's different rewards and different difficulties for each of our 5 algorithms that we have on the chain. So we're trying to make it fair. We're trying to create the most fairest mineable coin in existence, and we're still working on it and tweaking it.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool because I know we talked briefly before the show, but there's, with, like you said, the difficulty going up and more people jumping in, like the people that have the older cards, if you have a card that's 7 years old and it's got 2 gigs of RAM, well, sorry, buddy, you're not mining Ethereum or any of these other new coins. You got to go try to find some super spec script coin that probably is never going to find an exchange, anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, anything that brings ease of use, which is always a big thing, especially in my realm, going to the Discord, like mining is way easier now than it used to be, but there's still a lot of growing pains.
Yeah, there's people who are trying to figure it out, and they need a Sherpa to sort of help guide them a little bit. And it sounds like that's what you've been doing, right? Is helping people in the honey miners, the noobs and stuff, figure out how to mine. That's one thing that's cool about a bad coin is that once you get it up and set it up, and you start seeing how it all works, and you start understanding like the ports and how to connect to the different pools and whatnot, it's like, whoa! It's like you can see people's lights go on around mining, and then they want to sort of branch off to other stuff.
Yeah, mining is such a rabbit hole, and I've actually seen it. So I will say that there's probably 6 people in my Discord that are admins that last year had no idea what mining was. They found Honey Miner, and then they found me, and then they dove down the rabbit hole, and then they started mining themselves, and they went from having their laptop to 1 to 8 to 24 GPUs, and it just becomes an addiction. Like once you fall down that rabbit hole, like you are in mining.
You are in it. That is so true. It's fun watching it. It's fun even like when you have a coin. It's like this with bad coin. Like if you like my laptop, if I'm mining it, I'm getting anywhere between maybe 1,000, 2,500 bad coin a day right now because my computer's not super powerful or whatever. And there's other people who are on the pool, and it's just cool to see like, oh, boom, here's some more bad coin, and it's fun. Mining is addiction once you start getting into it and start playing around and understanding it.
Yeah, I actually I have a guy in my Discord, Claude, and I got to give him a shout out. So he had like 1 rig, and then he found my Discord, and he has been buying nonstop. But we can talk about this some more, but basically everybody that bought everybody's capitulated stuff between like October, December, we've all ROI'd our equipment because we stayed. And if you pick the right coins, especially all the January releases between Grin, Beam, Veil, especially Grin and Beam just went on a tear.
Right.
But we've all ROI'd our equipment. But this guy, he just keeps buying and buying and buying. And I think he's out of power now, and he's trying to figure out how to get more power. But that's just how it goes with mining. Like once you're in, the rabbit hole's deep.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I got the power. Okay, so those are some good basics. What about, for somebody, we told them how to get started with bad coin, but what's the minimum that you need? Like if you actually wanted to mine the big daddy, the Bitcoins, and what's the best way to do it? Should they cloud mine if, they can't set up a bunch of basics or what?
I'm not a fan of cloud mining at all.
Why? Go explain why.
So I know they say the whole, not your keys, not your coins. I like to say, not your computer, not your miner. So, we will say that like Genesis is legit. Genesis has equipment, but I know you had like Cloudflare and you had like all these other companies that sprouted up during all the FOMO madness of 2017. And a lot of people got ripped off. A lot of people didn't get their coins. Another issue I have with cloud mining itself is that I'm
still waiting on my Butterfly Labs computer.
Oh, man,
they're based here in Kansas City, and I chatted with them back in the day. I was literally trying to get one, and they're like, no, man, nobody's getting them.
There's so many scams. But yeah, and the other big problem too is like it wasn't the bigger people that were getting scammed, it was the smaller people because they have like crazy high withdrawals. Like basically your minimum withdrawal is like 0.1 Bitcoin, and you have these people that are buying these small contracts. Like they're never going to get their stuff off that site, and then the site goes down and it's gone. So my recommendation, if you don't have anything like that, is to use mining rig rentals, because you're actually renting out someone else's computer and it's fully controlled. So that's one thing I will say. Like if your electricity is too high, you don't have the capital to start your own mining rig, which doesn't take much nowadays, especially with how cheap stuff is. And you can start with one card. I think a RX 580 right now you can grab off of eBay for like $70, especially with all the new cards coming out. So you could probably build like a 1 card rig for $300 and you're up and running.
Is there a video resource or some place that you would say, here's the go-to to go learn how to build those rigs? Because, it's like I don't know how to do that, right? I mean, we've done bad crypto now for 2 years. Like the idea of like connecting a rig and putting those all together, putting all those video cards in there and connecting those all up so you go into one interface and then able to connect to the pool. Like that's just not intuitive for some people, right? That's why we can mine Badcoin on a regular computer, and then you can learn how to do that. So what's that go-to resource that you would say, hey, you're making that jump now? Is there video? Is there some link that we could put in the show notes that maybe could help teach people how to set up a rig?
So I've got my Discord, Proof of Walken. So we're actually nearing 2,000 people now, which is insane. But I have a mining repository that between myself and everyone else in the community has basically searched out everything. And it has links to basically everything that you need to get started. I've actually had people join the Discord, not say a word, use the mining repository, and then 2 weeks later, they just basically jump up in the general chat and they're like, thank you for this mining repository. Here's pictures of my rig. It's running. It's good to go. Thank you guys. Like that's a great source.
So it's at Proof of Walken, your Discord.
Yes, it is Proof of Walken.
Proof of Walken.
I stuck with the Walken branding hard.
I love the sign that you see, at some stores. I'll have a picture of Christopher Walken and it says Walken's welcome.
Walken's welcome, yes.
That's fantastic.
And so what you've done, it sounds like you've been mining, you started mining way back in the day, you had some downtime, Ethereum came back up, you're like, boom, you're mining some more. And then now you have a new mining business. What is it? Hash, what is it? Hashify?
Yeah, it's hash rate. HASHR8.
8. Hash rate. There you go, with an 8. Very good. So tell us about it. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so we started off, basically I met up with Bitcoin Broski and Will Bearman in Chicago. Funny enough, I was on, Broski was with Bitcoin Bravado at the time, and I actually was on his podcast, and that's how I met him through there. We all met in Chicago. We all talked. I talked to Will Bearman for a while because he's another big miner. He actually plays with FPGAs too, which I don't touch those things. But the three of us, at first, we decided to make YouTube videos. So we were just doing live YouTube videos, talking about mining, stuff like that. I started catching on with people, and then people started asking for a podcast. So we started that up. Well, we started talking more, and we started looking at all the stuff in the mining community that's kind of lacking. And a lot of it stemmed from the bear market itself, because like we were talking about, a lot of your mining facilities shut down, went bankrupt, stuff like that. People sold their equipment. So we felt that there was a need to help people get away from that. So that was originally where we started Hash Rate, basically sourcing cheap power. So that way, if you have, like we are right now, we're coming up on profitability. It's good. I think up to 35 cents right now, kilowatt hour, you can mine and be profitable. But in the bear market, it was 7 cents. So you've got to be able to prepare for that. So if you can find a contract for electricity that's 4 cents, then you would be good through an entire bear market. But it's also optimizing mining equipment, optimizing ASICs, stuff like that. We offer all those services. The big thing, which I want to announce on the show, I got permission to, was that we are launching our own OS. It's a Linux-based OS. Basically, it's always been my dream, especially as long as I've been in mining, to have my own OS, because I've been using everybody else's OS. I'll talk to the admins, I'll talk to the devs, stuff like that. Hey, you should have this feature, and my community would like it if you had this feature, and they just brush it off. So we talked about it. I'm like, screw this. Let's make our own. Let's make a freaking OS for the miners.
That sounds pretty cool. I can totally dig it. So,
oh, hey, by the way, I found the Discord. You have that mining emoji, and I think that makes it maybe not searchable for whatever reason on the main thing. At least that first one, potentially. I had to go to DuckDuckGo and then typed in Proof of Walken, and then the invite to the Discord popped up. It's not findable within Discord. It's hidden. I got to tell you, fella, you did a great job of hiding your community.
Man, I need to change that. I'd have double the people.
Double, maybe triple even.
Oh my gosh. You know what, Travis? I'm just going to let you. I want you to ask the rest of the questions in that voice.
It was such a challenge to find the Proof of Walken Discord. I'm so pleased to have found it. What are some of the best features, I guess, of your Discord? Why do people care? And how many miners would you say are in your community?
So the big things is that our community is very much good towards the newer miners. A lot of your normal Discords, they'll kind of just brush them away. They'll tell them to, freaking Google it, whatever. So that was the biggest reason why I built a mining repository. It's got your calculators. I've got articles I wrote that are full rig builds, stuff like that to help. There's websites for the Bitcoin talk announcements. Like I have a website that'll actually filter the Bitcoin talk announcements by proof of work and release date. So you don't even have to search through Bitcoin talk to find the new proof of work coin releases. There's websites that lead to overclock settings. You can basically type in the graphics card you have and here's all the overclock settings that everyone uses for your card.
No, that's great. So hold on a second, because that was great information. What is that channel that you have inside Proof of Walken? Because I'm looking for it right now.
You're not doing it in the voice, Travis.
Sorry, I don't have to do it all the time. It would be very tiresome, I think, for the people listening.
It's called the mining repository.
Mining repository. So we put bad. We had bad coin on an announcement thread. What indicates that? Because we put like POW in the title, or you got people manually going in and looking for the different new ones?
No, so there's a website in there. It's called Jub. I don't know who in the community found it, but they sent it to me, and I thought it was amazing, so I threw it in there, and it saved people a lot of time. So now you can just go on there and click it, and it'll filter it, and it actually refreshes like every 5 minutes.
Jub.
That's great for your coin announcements. Jub.
This is fascinating stuff. You guys can learn.
Fascinating stuff. As Mr. Tom
Wright.com. It's #8.com. Follow Crypto Christopher Walken.
I gotta tell you, fellas, your mining buddies in the community, you need to be mining bad coin, because what's more bad than bad coin? I gotta tell you, stay bad. And thank you, Christopher Walken, for coming on Bad Crypto with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for doing the impersonation. I should have worked on mine. We could have had a freaking walking off.
Don't pay any attention to those guys. They're just walking off over there.
Yeah. I'm normally walking off before the podcast.
Oh, my.
Where's the drum roll?
Right here. And just like that, delivered. And I wonder what real Christopher Walken would have to say about this.
I got to tell you, Joel.
It doesn't work for me. I got to have more cowbell.
You didn't see that coming. Let's play that one more time, just because I love that sound clip. There we go.
It doesn't work for me. I got to have more cowbell.
I got to have more cowbell.
Back when SNL was funny.
You know what? SNL has had moments of, I think it's had 3, maybe 4 eras when it was really funny. Like the first era was really funny. I like the Dana Carvey, Mike Myers,
Eddie Murphy.
That was a whole other era. He was one of the really funny ones. Who was that? Phil Hartman. He was great. John Lovett's really hilarious. And then you have the Adam Sandler and Chris Farley and Chris Rock and David Spade and that era right there, which was really hilarious. And then and I do like, what's the dude's name? Sudeikis?
Will Ferrell.
Jason Sudeikis. Yeah, Will Ferrell was pretty funny. Jason Sudeikis pretty good. I think once Sudeikis left, it's gone downhill. It's become way too political. And I think if you're on one side of the political spectrum, you might find some of that stuff funny, but a lot of that stuff's just mean-spirited, not funny at all. And when you get politics into comedy, it's not a good mix, which is why we've ran off some of our fans on Bad Crypto. Not a good idea.
Well,
talking politically.
You got to have a sense of humor, and we do. And if you don't, well, that sucks to be you. I mean, that's not good. But we're glad that you're here. We're glad you're listening. Lots of good things ahead. In fact, we are going to be increasing the number of episodes that we are doing each week back to 3 It was 4 during the last bull run, and during the bear market, we decided to take a little bit of a break. There was a lot of travel, and we've cut back to about 2 episodes on average a week, but we're bouncing it back up, and we're going to start bringing bad news back to you once again.
We're going to do 2.5 episodes a week now.
That's not true.
We're just going to quit in the middle of one. And then in this news, sorry, we've reached our quota for the week.
We'll end the show by just saying, stay.
Yeah, get the bad next week. It costs extra.
Stay back.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.